The desires I thought were silent suddenly became so loud. This is my unexpected rainy night story. I remember that day so clearly. The sky was a moody shade of grey, the kind that promises a downpour. I was at my desk, staring at a spreadsheet, when the first fat drops of rain hit the window pane. It was a Tuesday. Just another ordinary day in a long string of ordinary days. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. I'd built a life that was stable, predictable, safe. It was everything I thought I wanted. Or at least, everything I thought I was supposed to want. For years, I'd been living on autopilot. I followed the path laid out for me, ticking off boxes one by one. A good job, a sensible apartment, a routine that never wavered. I told myself I was content. I told myself that this quiet, steady hum of existence was happiness. Any other dream, any other wild idea that bubbled up, I'd push it down. I'd tell it to be quiet. Those were just distractions, childish fantasies that had no place in the real world. Or so I believed. But that rainy Tuesday was different, as the rain turned from a gentle patter to a relentless drumming. Something inside me started to shift. It was like the noise outside was waking up a noise inside. I closed my laptop, not because my work was done, but because I suddenly couldn't stand to look at it for another second. I walked to the window and watched the city lights blur through the rain-streaked glass. The streets were emptying, people rushing for cover. And in that moment, a feeling I hadn't allowed myself to feel in years washed over me. It was a profound sense of longing. It wasn't for anything specific at first. It was just a deep, aching pull towards something else, something more. I thought about the guitar gathering dust in the corner of my closet. I'd bought it in college, with dreams of writing songs and playing in little cafes. But life got in the way. Responsibility called. The guitar became a silent monument to a person I used to be. I thought about the box of old travel journals under my bed, filled with sketches and notes from a backpacking trip I took a decade ago. I'd promised myself I'd see the rest of the world, that I'd never stop exploring. But promotions and rent and the sheer momentum of my routine had anchored me in place. That night, listening to the rain, all those silenced desires, all those forgotten dreams, started to scream. They weren't gentle whispers anymore. They were a roaring chorus, and they were all asking the same question. Is this it? Is this all you want your life to be? The sound was so loud, so insistent, I couldn't ignore it. It felt like my own soul was staging a protest. I felt a sudden, almost desperate need to do something, anything, to break the pattern. On a whim, I grabbed my keys and a raincoat. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I couldn't stay inside that apartment, inside that predictable life, for one more minute. I walked out into the storm. The rain was cold, soaking through my jeans almost instantly, but I didn't care. It felt real. It felt alive. The city at night, washed clean by the rain, looked different, magical even. I walked for hours, with no destination in mind. I let my feet carry me past glowing shop windows and quiet sleeping houses. With every step, the noise in my head started to change. The desperate screams of my forgotten dreams began to soften, turning into a conversation. "Why did you stop playing music?" the voice asked. I said I didn't have time. But was that true? Or was I afraid I wasn't good enough? Why did you stop traveling? I said I couldn't afford it. But was that the whole story? Or was I scared of the uncertainty? Of leaving my safe little bubble? Walking in the rain that night was like walking through my own excuses. I saw them for what they were. Walls I had built around myself, walls I'd mistaken for a fortress, when all along they were a cage. By the time I finally returned to my apartment, drenched and shivering, something fundamental had changed. The sun was just beginning to rise. painting the clearing sky in shades of pink and orange. It felt like a new beginning. I wasn't a different person. I didn't quit my job the next day or book a one-way ticket to another continent. The change was quieter than that, but it was profound. The next morning, before work, I opened my closet and took out the guitar. My fingers were clumsy on the strings, but I played. I played until my fingertips were sore. It wasn't about being good. It was about honoring that part of myself I had silenced for so long. That weekend, I pulled out my old travel journals. I spent hours reading about my past adventures, not with sadness for a time that was gone, but with excitement for a future that could be. I started a savings account, a small one, labeled Adventure Fund. It wasn't about a massive, life-altering trip just yet. It was about acknowledging the desire, about feeding it instead of starving it. This journey didn't happen overnight. It's been a slow, steady process of listening. It's about recognizing that those silent desires aren't distractions. They are our core. They are the compass pointing us toward a life that is not just lived, but felt. They are the whispers of our most authentic selves. And when we ignore them for too long, they have to get loud. Sometimes, it takes an unexpected rainy night to finally hear them. What about you? What are the desires you've been telling to be quiet? Maybe it's painting, or writing, or learning a new language. Maybe it's starting a small business, or reconnecting with an old friend. Whatever it is, I encourage you to listen. You don't have to turn your life upside down overnight. Just take one small step. Pull out the dusty instrument. Open the old sketchbook. Make the phone call. Acknowledge the desire and give it a little space to breathe. You might be surprised at how loud and beautiful your own inner music can be when you finally let it play. That rainy night didn't give me all the answers, but it helped me start asking the right questions. It taught me that contentment isn't about having a quiet life. It's about having a life that is in harmony with your own soul. And sometimes you have to walk through a storm to find that harmony. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. What's one desire you're going to listen to this week? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about finding our way back to ourselves. See you next time.